Number 4, you were going to buy one boat, but you want the option of over 80 boats so you can tell your friends one was just not enough. Number 3, you want to meet other like-minded people who have figured out what a great deal Freedom Boat Club is. Number 2, what sounds better? We're spending Saturday doing yard work, or we'll be going on a boat this Saturday. And number 1, you become a Freedom Boat Club member and start enjoying what others have discovered to be the best alternative to boat ownership. Visit us at freedomboatclub.com.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson. FSU head coach Mike Norvell is jumping into game week by keeping the Noles focused.
I think the guys, they battled throughout camp, put in a lot of work. We've got to continue to improve on our consistency, which has been a major theme of ours.
Gator head coach Billy Napier goes into Thursday's opener against Utah, knowing it's going to be tough to come away with a win.
Utah's a very formidable opponent. They definitely have an identity, and it's one of the reasons why they've been able to perform with consistency and be a contender year in, year out.
Victor Hovland won the FedEx Cup, shooting a final round 7 under, closing out the tournament at 27 under with a closing birdie. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp earned a series split, beating the Columbus Clippers on Sunday. Jacksonville returns home for a 6-game series with the Charlotte Knights starting tomorrow. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Concierge Capital Management. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 9:57, it's 83 degrees. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules. You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
I don't want to give away too much, but I like everything that we're doing. That quarterback, come on.
Can't wait. I mean, me and him are equally as excited to play together because he's obviously hadn't played. He hadn't been on the field in forever. So just seeing him, how he's worked, I think that makes me more excited than anything. Like, he's so ready to go.
Without going crazy, the stuff that everyone gets excited about with Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley can easily do the same things. A lot of people have forgotten about Calvin Ridley.
And I've been plugging myself in pretty good, and I like it. I like what I'm going to be able to do.
Tyson's been really good. Really good, had a really good camp. A young player that kind of picked up where he left off a year ago.
Dropping the throw is Dobbs. Looking, fires deep downfield, and that ball is picked off, but Tyson Campbell running it back along the right sideline inside the 30. He's knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. What a play by Tyson Campbell.
And I feel like he's going to be a top 5 corner by the end of this year. That's what I'm saying.
There's some good quarterbacks in the AFC for sure, and if you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best. I mean, that's how it's set up for us. Same thing. Last year we had our shot, and we said after the game, we're gonna get our shot again. And when it comes, we just gotta be ready for it, and that's all you can control.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, David Garrard, and
Hold my pocket.
Dylan Denmark.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. Apparently Pockets had a little extra time to put together a brand new show open. Nicely done there, Dylan Denmark.
Thank you, sir.
I guess, did you do that when you were supposed to be playing the second half of Baldwin and Wilson?
Something like that. No,
on Friday.
I started it last week, and then I finished it up this morning.
You did? All right.
Yeah.
Well, what happened with Baldwin and Wilson? Do tell. I'm on the edge of my seat. How suspenseful was it?
It was until kickoff, and then we took care of business pretty quick.
Got suspended.
Yes.
Dang, there's your suspense right there, Tony. A lightning came in. By the way, the Jags game is officially a suspended game, right? Does that?
What a weird preseason. It's happened a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
But does that count like for the wagerers out there, right? Because I happen to know someone whose husband had some action on the game and was happy that the margin was what it was, and I said, I
don't know if they just call
I don't
off
know
the
if they
bets.
give they pay off on a game that doesn't finish or not. I really don't know the answer to that. But Dave, it's a good thing I don't gamble on anything basically, especially the NFL. And but you know what? You could have made a little money on the Jags this preseason.
Well, don't ask me either because I know zero
about
betting.
That's good. We're all above board
Yeah.
around these parts. So anyway, good morning, everybody. Hello, David Garrard. How are you?
Doing great.
What do you got over there, man?
I got a little
double shot energy.
Yeah,
drink,
I didn't want
huh?
to go with the triple shot.
No?
Yeah, I didn't want to be up here shaking. It kind of.
Are you usually an energy drink guy?
I am.
Are you? Okay.
And I'm trying to stay away from some of the sugary ones.
All right,
you
must slam them in the car, Tony, because I don't usually see it.
I don't always come in here with them.
Okay.
I don't always drink them every day.
Represent, right there for the YouTube cameras.
I was going to try to turn it around
Well,
because
no,
nobody's sponsoring me for
let's
this.
get us
but
let's get us an
when
endorsement
I want to drink
here.
it, I don't want to have to turn it around so that I can drink it.
This is true.
I might spill it all on myself.
Let's get us an endorsement deal. I'm
There
not
you
going to
go.
mention them by name, but they can watch on YouTube and see that their product is
if they like what's
prominently
being sitting
placed.
here,
Hey,
they can
Public
have another
Spring
one.
Water, hook me up. All right, Tony wants a little Chick-fil-A.
Can we switch
giant
cups?
soda?
'Cause
You want that?
I want Chick-fil-A.
You want that? You spend it all on chicken minis. Oh, that would be fantastic.
Oh, I know.
Unlimited chicken minis for the rest of your life. It wouldn't be a bad thing, huh?
Not in my household, I know.
It's one of those things like if you get a chicken mini and it's fresh, and the little bun is perfect.
Yeah. Toasted.
So good.
So good. Yep.
So good. It's like the Whopper, Tone. We always talk about that fresh Whopper. You go on
double Whopper, boy.
You
When
go on the
it's done
lunch
right.
rush.
When it's done right.
Oh,
man,
when
it's so
when it
good.
really is that
Bread
flame
is-
broiled
yeah,
goodness.
yes.
This Burger King just smells different.
It
man.
does,
It
man.
does.
It
But then
hits different.
Then you go in there. Sometimes you go through the drive-thru and you get the one that's been there.
For a
quite
minute,
a while.
yeah, for a
right?
minute.
Yeah.
That's why special ordering is not a bad
You
idea.
got to switch something up on the sandwich, so they have to. Well, I worked it before.
They could
They'll
scrape
just
it.
go in there
They'll
and scrape stuff
yeah,
off.
they'll scrape it, man. All right.
It's like
so-
it had onions on it.
All right,
I didn't order
Tony.
onions.
Other than Wilson getting the beat down, good
Yeah.
weekend for you.
Good weekend, yeah.
All right.
Had a lot of fun Friday night with Bowls St. Augustine.
Yes.
It's a classic to start the year with St. Augustine coming back from down 15 to start the fourth quarter.
You don't mess with Colin Dempsey's alma mater, baby.
And they win with a touchdown with 15 seconds to play. So Bowls starts the year 0-1. Mandarin coming up this Friday night.
All right.
Assuming the storm
I
allows
have a
us to
feeling
play.
Bowls will bounce back.
Fletcher just played Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They beat us pretty good. So.
Dang, everybody's taking it. Didn't Clay
Yeah.
lose to Fleming on Friday? So ET took the L as
We're trying
well?
to get all these losses out early so we can finish strong.
All these. Hopefully it's only one, Dave.
Well,
Maybe-
everybody who got losses this weekend besides.
Gotcha. All right.
Besides
Collectively. Everybody.
Yes.
Right. Pockets. That was a grudge match, though. So somebody had to win. Somebody had to lose around these parts. Jags won their encounter, and that's what we'll be talking about for the rest of the program today. Taking a look at maybe at some roster cutdowns as well. But 31-18 over the Miami Dolphins. Dave, I thought maybe an idea to cover Tyreek Hill right out of the gates.
Yeah.
That was a jailbreak right away.
It was pretty wide open, and then he just showed you what his speed really looks like. It's one thing to see it on TV, but when you're there at the game and you can see that man just outrun angles, and an angle where the guy would at least get his hand on him and normally push him out of bounds.
Yes.
He did not even touch him because he just put that extra gear in, and everybody's like, oh, wow, I didn't know you were really that fast.
Yeah.
But he is, man.
Even if you knew it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So what if you
You
knew it or
will-
not?
you will
right?
realize
You're
real
going to
soon.
find out.
You
I
will
thought
find
it
out.
when Miami lined up for the play. Like, I was like, what is this defense
Yeah.
that they're trying on this play? Because they had Josh Allen kind of lined up
Yep.
over Tyreek Hill. I
Yep.
was like, what is – no? Like, that was my first – like, no, that's not going to work. And Cisco was lined up behind him. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so Cisco step up at least – that's a defensive back. Maybe that'll be
Yeah.
covering Tyreek. And then Josh Allen stepped to the line of scrimmage. I
Yes.
was like, no.
And nobody stepped up.
Right, like there's no third corner on that side. They got Tyreek Hill in the
Yeah.
slot on that side. It was like, is this just they don't have three corners on the field? Like, what is the deal with this play? And Cisco was backing up as the ball was snapped. I was like, what is the defensive plan on this play. It
Gotta
was so
respect the
easy.
speed, Tone.
Right, so easy for Tua. Snap it, throw it. Like there's nobody within 10 yards of him. And then you saw the speed. Like Cisco did have an angle on him until he didn't. Right? Like when Tyreek Hill took off, and it's like, all right, I don't know what that was, but whatever it is, how about when you have
start
a
changing
player
them
of
angles.
that
Start
caliber,
changing them angles now.
Right. Somebody, a corner, somebody needs to be covering that guy.
Overall, though, Jags first team got the job done on both sides of the ball. The offense looked really, really crisp, and albeit a fumble by Tank Bigsby ruining the first drive, but they just methodically went down the field, then did it again, and converted the fourth down along the way to get the job done. I think for me, Dave, I felt like not a sigh of relief, but kind of an okay. That's what we expected to see, and we got it, and that's enough. And now I'm content and ready to roll for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as the whole preseason, the way we've looked the whole preseason. Besides, like you said, the fumble, besides Trevor's one interception, you start thinking, okay, we are putting something together here that's going to be pretty sweet. Because you can start the season and be a little shaky and then get rolling, midway through the season and have a good run, kind of like last year almost. But I feel like this year, just like how we've been talking this whole time, how you guys have been talking all offseason, things are looking really good and looking up for us. So the way the preseason, that just confirmed to me that we do have something special here. When you see Trevor drop back, you think to yourself, it doesn't matter who he throws it to. It is a solid weapon, whoever catches it. If he can give it to Calvin Ridley almost every time, I would be very happy with that. But if he doesn't, we got a plethora of guys that can make plays.
They didn't even look in Evan Ingram's direction on Saturday.
I
didn't even need to.
I thought about that. I had to rewatch the game because I don't get to watch it as much, shaking everybody's hands and having fun at the games and drinking my beverages. But I watched a play where he came in, motioned in, and then he motioned out, and it made me think, wow, I haven't even seen him. I don't know if he's gotten many catches this whole preseason. And I thought, and we've still been rolling. Not throwing it to one of our kind of main guys from last year. So he's going to get his catches because they're going to design plays for him to get.
And that
catches.
was on the play that wound up with the deep shot down the right sideline, right? Like they motion Ingram back out in the flat. And it's like, is the play intended to go there? And it felt like two defenders bit up on that, and then you had the one-on-one on the outside just barely out of bounds, right?
Yep, just barely out of bounds.
So, they kind of half looked at him once.
Yeah, exactly.
Saturday night.
But I just can't remember a time where, I'm watching him make a great catch or a catch and run or anything, and I'm sure he's had a few catches, but we haven't needed him to stand out as much like we did last year. But he's going to get his plays because you can't cover all those guys. You're going to have to leave somebody in a disadvantage when you're out there.
I think you're going to see just games like that where Christian Kirk disappears or Zay Jones, maybe even Calvin Ridley on occasion, just because of the nature of how many guys they have and the nature of how well they were able to run the football this week.
Really well. That's not what you're looking for him to do, but he did this week. He blocked really well for them.
Oh, no question. But you look at the backs, man, getting it done. Etienne 8 for 39, Bigsby 6 for 37, an impressive preseason. Again, the blemish of the fumble at the goal line, and we'll see how that reflects on his opportunities going forward. But I think he came back, he kind of ran angry the rest of the way. It did happen in preseason, as Tony Baselli was talking about on the drill. It doesn't count. We get it, but it's part of the evaluation process, right? Like, we want to be able to make sure. I mean, that's the most important play of the game is whether you score or whether you don't score.
And sometimes when you're a rookie, you kind of got to be reminded that there's some grown men out here playing. It ain't just easy where you're on the 1 yard line going in and you
kind of coast.
You got to make sure, and that's going to stick with him. But that's going to be a good challenge for him. And like you said, he started running even angrier afterwards. So if we can get a angry Tank this year, all year long, that's fine by me.
Dearness Johnson ran well again, 6 for 26 with a touchdown. I thought JaMychal Hasty only had 2 carries, but I feel like he maybe I'm just reading a lot into this. Like, he feels like he's becoming the forgotten man in his backfield
he is a little bit, yeah.
And, man, he put the shoulder down and ran strong as well, you know, and he got into the end zone. So if Bigsby hangs on to it, all the Jaguars' top 4 backs rush for a touchdown in that game. That's pretty impressive stuff.
It is.
And, of course, your quarterbacks played well here. Trevor played fine. C.J. Beathard was almost perfect in the game. At almost
accuracy seemed like it improved.
He had a much better game, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure he was listening to us, and he said, you know what? I'm going to show them I have good accuracy.
Those guys don't know what they're talking about, and I'm going to come out here. And look, he certainly was accurate on the big one to Tim Jones.
That was sweet, and the route was awesome.
He was so open.
He bit so hard on that.
He's had a couple of those occasions where he's just absolutely dusted a guy this year, and that one paid off. Now, the shame of it is for Tim Jones, if he makes the team, probably won't get any of those opportunities this year, but that's okay.
It is.
And it's nice to know he's got that capability. But, again, Elijah Cook, Seth Williams, both making nice plays in this game. I think the one overall, I don't want to say downer, but kind of a little nervous thing is Walker Little and the groin injury. Didn't play. They listed it as precautionary. And they said he warmed up a couple of times. So maybe the feeling is, had it been a regular season game, he could have gone, but why push it at this point? Because you got to have this guy on opening day. So that I think practice reports going forward for the next couple of weeks, what we can learn on Walker Little is going to go a long way to determining how comfortable I feel on opening day. I think they should beat the Colts regardless.
Yeah.
But you're going to need Walker Little if you want to get to where you want to go this year.
Yeah, you don't want to have, 2 of your top guys down, and not playing. So give him all the rest that he can get. Good thing for linemen and groin injuries. They don't do a lot of cutting and, scrambling around, but somebody like him will be able to push guys off the ball and do his job pretty well.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Right? Tony Baselli said Cam Robinson played a lot better this week and needed to, obviously. Didn't have a great game last week. All right, if you want to get in today, a number of ways you can do it. 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. Same number works for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. So hit us up on those avenues. You can tweet or X us, whatever the case may be, at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at David Garrard 9. Well, maybe kind of doesn't really use it.
Just type around.
That's fine. Just type.
Find me somewhere.
And at 1010XL Denmark.
Pull my pocket.
And we'll take your questions, your comments. You call the program. Just pass those along via social media or text or whatever you like, and we'll discuss all things Jaguars football with you. But your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day today is basically the one you'll get all season long, and hopefully reacting to a lot of victories. But what is your reaction to the Jags' 31-18 win over the Miami Dolphins? Albeit a preseason win, nevertheless. What did you see that you liked? What concerns you? What didn't you like? Whatever the case may be, bring it to the table. That's presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate at chadandsandy.com. And they offer you multiple offers on your home in 3 days, or they'll sell it for free. That's one of the deals that they've got going on. All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, David Garrard, and Dylan Denmark here with you, cracking a fresh week, wide open. Jags now off the field in terms of anger. They'll be practicing, but no game for the next 13 days, and they'll be in Indianapolis to open things up. So let's talk about it right here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Monday
on 1010XL
is brought to you by Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union, from the JOI Studios. 1010XL.
Duval's just different when the Jags are good. You can feel it in the air. You can sense it all over town.
Home of the Jaguars.
Whether you're undertaking a major home renovation or just a simple repair request, American Electrical is your 5-star Jacksonville-based electrician to get the work done right. Experienced design building department working seamlessly with their electrical contracting department to help you create beautiful lighting spaces and electrical plans that make your house flow. And remember, with American Electrical, it's wired right at a fair price. Call American Electric at 737-7770. Look for that red, white, and blue eagle on the side of their truck, and you'll know it's American Electrical.
This month, the Key Buick GMC receives special financing on GMC's rates as low as 0.9%
for 36 months or 2.9% for 60 months and 4.9% for 72 months. Right now, save up to $10,000 on select new GMCs and no payments for 90 days. As always, at Key Buick GMC, whenever you buy a new vehicle, it always comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. We are professional grade. Key Buick GMC, corner of South Side and Gate.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe he's got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra. Maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
You probably remember your first fender bender, but very few can tell the story of their crash with a semi-truck. That's because an 18-wheeler weighs over 20 times more than the average car. You might see it coming, but you probably won't remember much after impact. You need experience on your side. Our forensic crash reconstruction team and truck accident specialists know how to recover black box data and build a case that hits back hard. Your consultation is free. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Elevate your party game to the next level with Mystic Cornhole Company. Visit their showroom now on the corner of Hogan and Parental Home Road. It's your one-stop destination for all things cornhole. MysticCornhole.com.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here, and I want to know, are your drafty windows letting all that cool air right back outside? Will they protect your home from Florida's unpredictable weather? If not, then it's time for the peace of mind that comes only with Pella Windows and Doors. Pella offers durable wood, fiberglass, and vinyl products in various styles and designs to best complement your home. So visit the Pella of Jacksonville showroom on Phillips Highway next to Tesla, or find them at PellaJacks.com. That's Pella Windows and Doors at PellaJacks.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL. not just Monday. David Garrard Monday on 1010XL. Brought to you by Napa Auto Care. You can trust Jacksonville Napa Parts and Jacksonville Napa Auto Care repair shops.
All right, here we go. Jaguars Today. Let me start with this one, Dave, for you. All right. This is on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. This says, love you, David. All-time favorite Jag.
All right.
So there
love you
go.
too.
Right, we're right back at you, whoever you are. Dave loves you. I wanted to throw that one out there because Dave's presence alone resulted in an overwhelming amount of people trying to get in our Jaguars Today fantasy leagues this year.
Awesome.
I mean, we got hundreds.
They all want to beat me. That's why.
They want to beat you.
Don't worry, it won't be that hard.
Others want to show that others are taking swipes at Duraco, trying to get in the league.
Yeah.
We have not finalized anything yet. And you could still get in, but I'm not going to continue to promote how you can get in. And we've talked about it plenty because anything I receive after this point is going to be in a separate pile. Like I'm going to go through the first bunch, eliminate everybody who didn't follow the rules, and then out of that group, if I can settle enough people into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday based on their availability, we'll be done, and I won't go to the next group. The reason I'm saying this is because I know how a certain segment of the fan base reacts when anything is attached to Fred Taylor.
Oh.
And Freddie T, happened to see him on Saturday night, and we coerced him into being in one of the drafts next week. So he is going to be in one of the 3 leagues. Just because you get selected for a league doesn't mean you're definitely going to get to play against Freddie T. But he was like, how many teams in this league? Like, it's 14. He goes, that's too many. And I'm like, what's the issue? Like, not enough talent? Or he goes, draft will take too long. Like, all right, for you, Fred, how about a 12-team league? He goes, well, how long's the clock? Like, for each pick? He goes, 30 seconds? I'm like, Fred, no, it's like a minute.
That's just one night.
It's one night.
Out of the whole season.
Out of the whole year, right? And I said, no, it's like a minute. He goes, oh, it takes forever. I said, all right, I tell you what. For you, I'll do a 45-second clock draft, all right, just for the one you're in. He goes, okay. I said, so 12 teams, 45 seconds. He goes, no, we'll do 14. So we're back to 14 teams. So 2 more of you will get to play against Fred than I thought.
So as the commissioner, you can adjust the time for
you
the
can adjust
rounds and
anything
all?
you like.
Oh,
right. You
that's
can
cool.
set it up any way you like.
That's
and,
cool.
I always tweak the defensive scoring because I feel like there's certain things they don't give you enough
Oh, you can
credit
even
for. You
change
can tweak
the scoring,
Right.
too?
If you wanted a catch to be worth 17 points, you could make it worth 17 points. You can do whatever you like. And so, yeah.
Oh,
but
that's cool.
I basically used most of their default stuff on there on ESPN, but there you go. So, I mean,
awesome.
so we're going to have David in all 3 leagues.
Yes.
We're going to have McManus co-managing with FanCam in one of the leagues. We're going to have Freddie T in one of the leagues. We got Ozier. We've got Duraco. We've got Taylor Dahl, of course, myself, Tony, and Dylan. So we're, roughly
I like it.
roughly 20 spots up for grabs. Offered Shadrick. He's too busy, Tone. Too busy for this. Too busy. What are you talking about, JP? Fred Taylor's in it, JP. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
He's a little busy with that Pivot podcast of his. David Garrard's in all 3 of them, for
All
goodness
3.
sakes.
Yep.
Love it, man. That's because you're a tough guy.
Yeah.
All right, so that's out of the way, and there you have it. And I'll have those probably done by Wednesday and get those sent out so we're all squared away for next week. All right, so looking back on this game here, and, more of a quiet game for Nathan Rourke, which is fine. I mean, he's played really well. He's 4-6 for 74 yards. He wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. Didn't just have those spectacular plays or – that he didn't outplay Beathard.
Yeah.
And not that we knew it wasn't a competition, but I did feel it was good for CJ just to solidify,
absolutely,
kind of in the fans' eyes.
Yeah.
And so the team's got that little bit of confidence in him going into the year.
Yeah, well, everybody wants to see you do something when you get out there, and if you just go through the game and you play it like it's supposed to be played, that's fine too, because the coaches appreciate that and they know what they can expect from you. But, the fans want to see something cool, like maybe a 75-yard touchdown, or a scramble where everybody tries to hit you and you get out of it and you still throw a touchdown. Those things stand out.
No doubt.
So every quarterback wants that kind of shine in the game at some point in time. If you get a few of them, even better. But when the fans go crazy because you did something, then you're feeling
You're
pretty
good.
good. Yeah, you're feeling pretty good.
I'm good. I'm good here. Kayvon Chason didn't get that opportunity, Tony.
Nope. Kayvon Chason didn't play on Saturday night, which
prompts speculation.
Yes, it does.
Right? And because oftentimes, if the guy's not part of your plan, and you're going to try to move him, if you think you can get something for him, that's exactly right, Dave. And this was something we discussed on and off the air a little bit on Saturday. Is this a sign that they just think that Kayvon Chason has not shown them enough this offseason, and they are going to try to maybe get a late-round draft pick, which is better than nothing if you're going to waive him, but you can save some money on the salary cap, and the Jags have a lot of big contract decisions going into next offseason with Josh Allen going to be up, Calvin Ridley's going to be up. Of course, Trevor Lawrence will be eligible. He won't be up yet.
Yeah.
His contract will still be on his rookie deal, but if you want to give him that extension as early as possible, you can every cap dollar you save now that you don't use, you can push into next year.
Yeah.
As an additional bonus on top of what next year's cap will be. So what do you think? Will Kayvon Chason be on this roster come week 1?
Well, it's looking like they're going to try to move him, and which makes sense. If you feel like you're not getting something out of a guy, but he still has a little value because somebody out there has trained him before, has coached with him before, has seen him,
scouted him, coming out, they liked him,
and they think there's something we can do. If we can get him and not have to pay a lot of money still, on a rookie deal, that kind of stuff, then they're going to try to do it, and we should be able to make that happen for him. You don't want him out there getting hurt so that now you have to keep him on your roster, or you have to, give him some kind of injury settlement or whatever.
Or you simply can't trade him.
Or you can't even trade him now.
Right.
So it just makes sense. They're trying to do what's smart for us, but also it's smart for him too, because he doesn't want to get out there and be hurt, and now he's rehabbing, trying to get on somewhere. So, it works out for both parties, I think.
So, Tony, for you, do you feel any different about the pass rush if Kayvon Chason is not a member of this roster?
Probably gets better. I'm sorry, Tony. It
About
probably
the pass,
gets better.
Right, about the pass rush, no. Like, nothing changes for me about the pass rush if Kayvon wasn't part of the team. I don't expect any kind of impact from him this year. He hadn't shown anything in the preseason that makes me think that he's going to take that big step up.
As a rusher.
This year as a rusher. I think there is still the depth issue. Like, you still need as many bodies as you need to play a game week to week in the NFL, Dave. And Kayvon Chason, no, I don't think he'll be an impactful pass rusher for the Jags here, and likely not ever be an impactful pass rusher in the league. They talked about him last week. They emphasized he can play all 4 special teams units. It's like, cool.
Right, that has a value.
Yeah.
Right, but I feel like we hear that a lot about a lot of the guys on this roster, right? Like, not that Dearness Johnson, I don't think his roster spot's in jeopardy, but for instance, you hear he's a core 4 guy. He plays them all. And
Wingard's one of those guys.
Wingard, right? I mean, you talk about Claybrook's being one of the best gunners in the league, and how good Tim Jones is. And there are a lot of these receiving prospects that are big physical guys that I would imagine, if they're able to break down, are able to do a good job in coverage and deliver a blow.
I don't expect, with the whole league having to get down to 53 tomorrow, right? So you're going to have 37 guys from every roster that are going to be put into the pool of players that you can take a look at. I think the Jags are likely to be able to pick up somebody from that pool of players that, from a pass rush impact, gives you just as much, if not more, than what Kayvon Chason can give you. I don't know that they'll find somebody that can do everything they would potentially ask him to do on special teams, right? I don't know how they feel about him as a run defender, right? Like, I don't know the answers to those kinds of things. The conversation all offseason has been, do they have enough pass rush to achieve at the level that the rest of the team feels like it's ready to achieve at right now? I don't think Kayvon's going to do anything to help them in that regard this season. I still think it's, in my head, it's like 90-10 that he's on the 53. And, they're kicking the tires on whatever they might be able to do over the course of this weekend.
You think maybe they're going to see if they can get something, and if they don't, ultimately they may just say, we'll keep him.
We'll keep him.
And it's a case of they'd move him because of the salary cap relief, basically, right?
Yeah,
which,
essentially.
In the last year of his rookie deal, it's not insignificant. It's not going to change the not going to make you be able to go out there and have the space to all of a sudden trade for, Aaron Donald. You know, it's not enough on its own, but it's every little bit helps, I guess.
Well, I guess if they're, trying to trade him, but they don't trade him, I don't know if you just waive him because, like they're saying, he's a four-core kind of guy. He can play all the special teams and all that kind of stuff, or he at least can play all the special teams. So if that's the case, then you still need those guys. But if you can find somebody that gives you more depth at pass rushing, then I would say you'd have to go get that guy that gets dropped off a team.
Right, and that's the other thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just what he leaves based on what the present roster has. You know, with Yasir Abdullah and Jordan Smith or whomever else, and eventually DeJuan Smoot getting in the mix in terms of depth as pass rushers. But what else is going to become available in the next couple of days? And a lot of that's going to come. Look, it wouldn't surprise me to hear anything, if the Jags made some announcements today on a dozen guys. Like, there are going to be guys that they know they're releasing, that they know they can't get anything for on the open market. And for those guys, it's not the worst idea to say, hey, you know what? Get your name out there. At least other teams can start evaluating you right now and know what you've done and things like that. And you're going to have to do it in a day anyway.
Yeah. They're in a different position than they've been in the last couple of years. They've had the number one waiver priority.
Yeah.
2 years in a row because of that number one draft position. This year it's 24th. So you're not in the same position to pick up, the best of the best of the 53, that are getting dropped here over the course of the next couple of days. But there may be the potential and it's all because of how weak the position appears to be on the roster right now, right? Like, there may still be somebody that can come in and give you something. You look at the roster right now, Kayvon Chason, I think he is the second best linebacker that they have on the roster right now behind Trayvon Walker, right, on that side. On the strong side, I do think that he's probably the second best player that they currently have on their 90-man roster for that particular spot. Not because I think he's going to give them any kind of impact in the pass game. It's because they don't have anyone else that's going to either, right? Yasir Abdullah is more in that Josh Allen side, right? Like, you even saw it on Saturday night. He played the same side as Josh, that kind of thing. He is kind of the backup to Josh Allen, and they'll have packages where they might get all three of those guys on the field together, and Allen, Walker, and Abdullah, right? He may have earned some of that as we get into the season to have an idea of what that looks like. They're not doing that for Kayvon. Kayvon will play. We expect run. Kayvon's on the field, right? Like, that's what it feels like at this point. It is what it is on the roster right now, unless they can find a better answer somewhere else, whether it's Melvin Ingram, who's still out there, that kind of thing. Maybe that's still a possibility, but it doesn't feel like a strong one at this point for the team.
Yeah, whether it's I feel like a guy like that, the Jags could have picked him up at any point in time,
I'm with
right?
you.
And so I think it's more of let's scour what happens. One team's trash is another's treasure, and maybe just like somebody may have scouted Kayvon Chason and liked some traits about him. Maybe the Jags, Trent Baalke, liked a certain guy, and he becomes available, and they think, hey, we can get it out in him. So, all right, we'll move on to other issues, including, how about this one, Ventrell Miller and whether or not he can make this football team, and did the latest injury open the door for Shaq Quarterman to keep his spot on this 53-man roster. So we'll discuss that and how things stand as we continue to pick our way through some of the position battles that we're assuming Doug Peterson and staff are mulling over. By the way, nobody knows what's going to – we're not saying we know definitively that Kayvon Chason will or won't be on this team. It's just you got to ask the questions when he is held out and believed to be a healthy scratch on Saturday night, what that may mean for this football team and for Kayvon Chason in particular. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, David Garrard, and Dylan Denmark, your quartet today. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Underdog Fantasy. You know what? August is almost come and gone. It is time for you to get on board with Underdog. If you've never played fantasy football at Underdog Fantasy, you're in for a treat. First of all, you're in for some free money. If you visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store and sign up for the first time using promo code 1010XL, you'll get your first deposit doubled up to $100. That's free money from Underdog Fantasy using promo code 1010XL. Why Underdog? Because it's a best ball format, and it just makes your life so much easier throughout the NFL season. You want to cheer for your team on Sunday and not worry about whether you you set your lineup. At Underdog, you don't need to set a lineup. There are no waivers. There are no trades. There's no lineup setting. You automatically get your best possible lineup every single week based on the team you drafted, hence the term best ball. Check it out, again, at Underdog Fantasy or in the App Store. You must be 18 or older and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Jaguars Today Monday
on 1010XL
is brought to you by Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
JOI, where the pros go. This is The Swamp.
Snap back, looking left. Intercepted the 4. Florida gets the stop.
The season kicks off against Utah on Thursday, August 31st.
15, 10, to the house. Touchdown, Gators.
Kickoff at 8 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL AM.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top grease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
All year long you'll be singing our song. Stay cooler with Bueller. At the head of our class, we make it happen fast. Stay cooler with Bueller. For heating and air, we always play fair. We make the difference because we really care. Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's best options. Pick it here. Watch for Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan is brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Hurricane season is here. Make sure your home is protected by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof Contracting. And right now, get 10% off roof replacement and repairs. The first 50 callers will save an additional $500 on a full roof replacement, plus flexible financing. This offer expires August 31st and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CVC 1258484.
Oakleaf people, the best wings in town are coming to you. Players Grill is expanding and opening soon in Orange Park. Watch your favorite teams and enjoy burgers, pizzas, salads, and more. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
The house is taking a beating this summer with all the in and out. Time to call Zero Res. Right now, Zero Res offering the hottest price of the year on tile and grout cleaning. Get your tile and grout cleaned and sealed for 25% off. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting, prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
There's a world of difference between and that's why you can trust Famous Automotive and Tire when it comes to your vehicle's care. Because there's a difference between and. It all starts with the triangle of safety. Your tires, brakes, and the front end. Take care of those 3 points and your car will take good care of you. Start at Famous Automotive and Tires. 7 locations servicing every customer like they're famous.
E.T. here. If you're a licensed property and casualty agent and frustrated with your current situation, be your own boss with an Australia franchise. Opportunities available all over Northeast Florida. Visit AustraliaInsurance.com to learn more.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
I'm Sam Nelson. Veteran wide receiver Calvin Ridley caught 3 passes Saturday in his first Jaguar game in Jacksonville. Ridley had been a major preseason performer for the Jags, having been acquired in a trade with the Atlanta Falcons. Saturday's final preseason game was impressive, but not without blemish, as rookie running back Tanks Bigsby fumbled. His quarterback says he's learning.
Things like that, just guys learn from, and he will. He's that type of guy.
As well as the offense played on Saturday, Jag head coach Doug Peterson liked what he saw from the defense.
Pleased where the defense is at. Our defense stopped when they had to in the red zone. Pleased with the whole unit.
That's your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguar update. I'm Sam Nelson on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL. Jaguars Today on 1010XL with David Garrard. Brought to you by Napa Auto Care.
By the way, you can vote right now to determine which game will be 1010XL's next Friday Night Lights game of the week. You got 4 choices this week in high school football, provided weather allows them to go off. Baker County at Oakleaf, Bowles at Mandarin, Bradford at Baldwin, or Creekside at Nice. So those are out there on our social media channels for 1010XL, and most of them have reposted. Most of us here at 1010 have reposted that, so you can find it pretty easily. I voted for you, Pockets.
Appreciate it.
After the impressive first half drubbing of the Wolfpack by the Baldwin Indians.
Well, we have a good one. I don't know if we're playing Friday or Saturday yet, but
oh, is that right?
Yeah, we've already. Apparently, the Duval County will have a decision by noon today on what the next couple of days are going to look like. So,
okay,
gotta wait on that first.
All right, tropical storm. What's the name of this storm? Do we know?
Idalia.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
That's
it.
I had no idea.
And we got to go to Tallahassee to play. So we got to go into the eye of the storm to play.
Wow.
That's how tough we are.
Or maybe that game won't take place.
We're going to play through it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
He's going to throw like a 100-yard touchdown.
Tweet
because
through
that
it,
wind
Dave.
is just going to carry it. And the receiver.
That's fantastic. It's fun. I'm so clueless. Unless I have a tea time. Clueless.
To what the weather is?
Yeah, I really am. Like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, looks like it's going to rain today.
Well, we got up this morning, my son, so I was taking him to school, and it was pouring. So I was like, oh, gosh, how long is this going to last? So I pulled up the Weather Channel on my phone, and that's how I knew, because it had this big old red bar going through my screen, and I was like, ooh, what is that for? Oh, there's a tropical storm somewhere.
Yes. Well, somebody who I had a tea time on Wednesday, and somebody texted me yesterday, we might not be able to play tropical storm. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Thanks for the heads up. I would have found out Wednesday morning, probably, or maybe a little bit sooner. But not exactly tracking the tropics around these parts. This one from Scott on the platform formerly known as Twitter. Good to see the offense move the ball from the get-go. Run defense was solid. Where's the pass rush? Well, I think a couple of things happened. And I heard the guys talking about on the drill with Tony Pacelli this morning. They did use, a quick passing game. 3-step drops, balls out of Tua's hands. And I think Miami will want to play that as much as possible. Now, they'll take some longer developing routes with Hill and Waddle down the field. But at this stage, why mess with it
they didn't
in the
have
preseason?
Hill and Waddle.
Correct.
And Hill basically stopped playing after he had the big play.
Right.
So, it's like, okay, they're not running what they might run when they're trying to get those guys downfield. They're not worried about getting any of their other receivers deep field reps. They know where their deep threat's going to be coming. It didn't play on Saturday night.
We would have liked Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker to have a couple sacks each. That would have been great, right? But the circumstances really weren't there. And guess what? Where's the pass rush? We known that that's going to be a question.
100%.
You know, I'd like to be pleasantly surprised by that. And, you know, you think about it, 3 a game. And you have 51 sacks, and you're among the league leaders.
Yeah.
3 doesn't seem like that high of a total, a high of a bar to reach, but apparently it is.
Right. I'll say, you know, watching the game on Saturday night, Dave, I walked away from it saying the run defense wasn't hurt at all with Devon Hamilton not being out there, which was nice to see, right? Because we have talked about the depth in that group as well, and what's that going to look like. They stopped the run. They have all preseason. When those front-end guys have been on the field, they've stopped the run. Here in this preseason. So you feel good about that going into the year. We've had questions all offseason about what the pass rush is going to look like for this football team. I'm not saying the preseason has answered those questions.
The preseason has not answered those questions. And a team like the Dolphins, who are going to get their guys in a few series, get the ball out of Tua's hands. We've all seen what happens when he holds on to it and he gets hit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for it in the preseason. Let's just get guys out here, get them through it, get them healthy. Keep them healthy, and that's what they were trying to achieve. But, yeah, that doesn't help us see our guys try to go get Tua and put him on the ground, and, you know, when you get the ball out of your hands so fast. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but, you know, they've got this season that's just now really starting for them to be able to crank it up and hopefully scheme guys in good positions to be able to get some sacks.
Somebody asked, are Trayvon and Josh, this is on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, are Trayvon and Josh just holding back and not showing everything in preseason? I think schemes do that.
Yeah.
I don't think players necessarily do. Like, you're out there, maybe you got a pet pass rush move you're working on that you don't utilize or whatever, but you're still going 100%.
Yeah.
To try to beat your man in front of you, get to the quarterback.
And you wanna try these moves in a game situation to make sure and see if they work. It's not like you're gonna do the move and everybody's like, oh, we see what he did. We got it now. He's never gonna be able to make that work again.
Yeah, I thought Josh was dropping in coverage a lot this week, right? And they had Abdullah doing the same thing when he came on.
Yeah.
Right? It's for whatever reason that seemed like an emphasis this week. Whoever was playing that weak side 3-4 linebacker for the Jags was being asked to drop in coverage. Well, they came on that blitz with Shaq Quarterman on the 1, and Yasir got to where he was supposed to be in coverage. It's easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When the quarterback throws it to you, it's easy. You go make the play, but that is one of your outside linebackers that we hear fans talk about all the time. Why are they asking these guys to cover anybody, get after the quarterback? Well, because sometimes you can use it to your advantage, right?
Yeah.
And create a play for the defense doing that kind of thing. I thought watching Josh Allen on Saturday night, among edge defenders in the league, every time I watch him, I say he's among the handful of the best edge defenders against the run in the league, right? Like, he sets the edge as well or better than anybody else in that position in the league, in my opinion. That's not what the fans want to see.
No.
Right? They want to see that guy hitting the quarterback, and I thought he had a couple good rushes on Saturday night. It didn't result in a sack, you know, that kind of thing for him this week. Fans feel the way they feel about Josh Allen at this point. I totally get it. I hope for his sake that he does go out there and have one of those 12, 13 sack seasons and just shut all of it up.
Yeah.
You know, for his sake, for the franchise's sake, make it an easy decision for everybody to bring that guy back in.
You know, I'm sorry, Dave. Nobody is rooting against that, though.
No.
You know what I mean?
Not
They're
at
just reacting to what hasn't happened up until this point.
And it's tough, you know, whenever you only get 2 or 3 series, you know, it's tough to be able to get home and get a sack, because you might have a big third quarter where you get 2 sacks in it and you turn the tide of the game and it was a sack fumble. So it's tough whenever you get a small amount of time out there and we didn't see a sack while you were out there. You know, it's just not how it
Right,
works
over the course of
always.
60 minutes, if you get 1 and that's your average, you're a superstar.
Exactly.
You're one of the top 5 pass rushers in the league probably in any given year.
Yep. You would just have hoped at some point when he was on the field this preseason, he would have been able to get home on a guy. That's really up.
Oh, we would all like to see it, you know, and doesn't mean it can't happen once the regular season gets here, but I think Jaguar fans are in prove-it-to-me mode on
Yes,
on
we
that.
definitely
And
are.
That's kind of what, you know, Tony's talking about. He hopes Josh Allen does prove it to. We all do.
Yep.
You know, I hope the Jags have that tough decision of, do we need to pay this guy $20 million plus a season, because he had that kind of breakout. And under these circumstances, he'll have earned it because not going to have anybody else drawing double teams away from him, it doesn't appear, this year, barring something on the roster that we have not seen to this point in time. Now, mentioned coming into the last break, we talked about Ventrell Miller and Shaq Quarterman here a little bit. Ventrell Miller led the team with 4 solo tackles and an assist, so he had 5, which is, preseason. You're not going to play the entirety of it. Shaq had 4 total. 3 of those were assists. Miller's been involved in some big plays, and I think, Tony, the feeling has been 4th-round draft pick, going to be cheaper because he's on the first year of his rookie deal compared to the last year for Shaq Quarterman, so it's a little more inexpensive. The question is, can Ventrell Miller stay healthy? And we don't know the extent of this foot issue that he's dealing with that caused him to leave the game on Saturday, but certainly a lot of talk in the postgame about is he an IR candidate, which would open the door for Shaq to return for another year.
It would make sense, Dave, and you've been in these locker rooms as you're watching players that are having to face this kind of thing at the end of a preseason, right, where it's a really relatively minor deal, right, and it does feel like something, well, maybe it'll keep him out a month, but the team says, we can create a spot on the 53. You're a young guy. We want to have you around the building for a year. We'll put you on IR, and we'll see you in year 2, right? Like it's not out of the realm of possibility that the team decides to go that way with it, knowing that they have a guy like Shaq Quarterman that they know exactly what they're going to get, right? And you're talking about whoever it is your 4th interior linebacker on your roster going into the season, right? It's a different kind of thing. I think Ventrell Miller, because he's a better athlete than Quarterman, gives you that intrigue. I think he probably gives you a little bit more on special teams if that's what you're going to ask him to do. But whatever Quarterman can give you on special teams, you know what it is, right? So that decision's out there. I wouldn't be surprised at all if here over the course of the next 24 hours we hear Ventrell Miller's going to the IR, and we'll see him in year 2.
Yeah, and that's a good scenario if that is how it's going to work out because, like you said, he gets to stay around the team. He gets to be a part of the process while he's rehabbing and getting healthy. And like you said, they know what Shaq can do, so they know his strengths, they know his weaknesses, and they can make sure he's always going to be put, most of the time in a good situation for himself. But he's really a special teams guy and a guy that's going to give someone a blow here and there when they need him to. So it's not like we're going to be counting on either one of these guys a ton when it comes down to just the defense. But it's good having 2 guys that, have that ability and knowing that Ventrell has some more athleticism and can do a little bit more here and there, but knowing that you can always rely on Shaq if
can't
he's
make
not
the
out
club
there.
in the tub. We've heard
No,
that,
you
right?
can't do that.
And Shaq stays out of the tub.
I mean, when Shaq hits something, he hits something.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could see that on Saturday again. It's you give him any kind of space to act.
Yeah.
Like getting after a guy. He hurt one guy.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Dawood Davis it looks like he's going to be okay.
Yeah, and he hurt the running back earlier in the game
that's
too.
true. Yeah.
Like when he and Miller were both there at the same time, the violence was all Shaq, right? Like on that play, and then he had one with the quarterback on the sideline that was trying to do that little cheeky thing where he was going to fake like he was going out of bounds and come back in, and Shaq was having none of it, right? Like just came over there and said, nope, escorted him out the club, that kind of thing. I think he is the more physical of the 2 players. It's the guy is younger. He is this year's draft pick in Ventrell Miller. He does appear to be the better athlete. All those things come into play. But if you're dealing with an injury in week 3 of the preseason, for a guy that the big discussion from coaches when asked about him has been, can he stay healthy? It does feel to me like it's very much within the realm of possibility that they say, you know what, IR.
Yeah.
We're going to get this guy 100%, no doubt, healthy going into year 2. Shaq's not going to be under contract going into next season. That'll be our 4th guy when we get into it next year.
Yeah, let him compete and see where it goes from there.
Somebody who apparently likes to send the exact same text multiple times because I see them from different dates sending the exact same one. So the Jaguars are going without a pass rush this season. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them. Obviously, they don't want to not have a pass rush, and we'll find out, because a lot of times you don't know how good a certain aspect of your team is going to be based on what you see in a handful of preseason games. Now, there's reason to be skeptical for this, but I don't think it's a strategy of them to go, let's not get after the quarterback this year. I mean, and again, did they address pass rush enough? I think that's a fair question this offseason. You say you can't do it all in one draft. Well, there's free agency.
Yeah.
You've had money available to you. Did you pass up on guys who have since signed with other teams? If those guys turn out to have really good seasons in this department, then, you're going to be questioned about it, And right now, things are riding high with the Jags, with Trent Baalke in the front office, and everyone feels good about the football team, but this is going to be something that lingers if the pass rush doesn't show up for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2023. What about other players, in addition to Ventrell Miller, who could be candidates for IR before the 53-man cut down? We'll discuss that when we come back in a minute. Hour 2 on the way. 641-1010 gets you on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. What is your reaction to the Jags' 31-18 win over the Miami Dolphins? Our Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Your radio man cave.
This is great!
This is Jacksonville Sports Radio.
You must give me your designer's number.
1010XL.
More than qualified to handle your roof. Call J&M and we'll show you the proof. Check with our customers and they all say only one way to go, the J&M way.
Big news at J&M Roofing. We've teamed up with Solcium Solar to offer solar energy systems in addition to the best roofing products in the industry. 904-337-0509. J&M Roofing, under the umbrella.
License number CCC 1331951.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Follow every Gators game on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to one commercial today, listen to this one.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are doing it again, recognizing the local heroes in our community with a brand new car. That's right, we'll be giving away a brand new car, cash, and free oil changes for life to our local heroes. Nominate a law enforcement officer, firefighter, EMT, nurse, teacher, veteran, or your local WOW hero. Head to localwowheroes.com to nominate and vote today. Let's wow our heroes.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
For the past 5 years in Jacksonville, J-Dog Junk Removal has been on a mission to put veterans back to work. They have successfully helped over 40 veterans find meaningful employment, and they're not stopping there. Their goal is to reach an astounding 75 veterans employed by the year 2025, all in our local community. J-Dog Junk Removal, veteran-owned, veteran-operated.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Life a little expensive right now? If you need cash, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach is ready to buy. Gold, silver coins, and flatware, guitars and guns. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn wants to buy them. See Chuck and get extra cash only at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn.
I'm Sam Nelson with your 1010XL local sports update. Florida football coach Billy Napier said the Gators are ready to adjust if Utah's starting quarterback Cam Rising doesn't play Thursday when the Gators play at the number 14 Utes.
Well, we're preparing for all the above, and I do think they have very capable players.
The LSU Tigers will be down a key defensive lineman in the season opener against Florida State. Multiple reports have indicated that defensive tackle Mason Smith will not play when the Seminoles and Tigers meet on September 3rd in Orlando. Kurt Busch called it a career at Daytona's International Speedway ahead of Saturday night's Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Racing at NASCAR's highest level requires every last bit of focus, heart, stamina, and determination. And I know right now I can't give what is required to compete at that level.
That's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by First Coast Honda Dealers. I'm Sam Nelson for 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
At 11:02, it's 85 degrees. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Jaguars Today
On 1010XL. He's still throwing passes. It's a David Garrard Monday on 1010XL. Brought to you by Napa Auto Care.
Enjoy it, because you're not going to get another David Garrard Monday for 2 weeks.
Oh, man, I'm sad.
Labor Day. I mean, you're welcome to come in. I don't know how
probably pass.
Pockets feels about producing the David Garrard Show for a couple hours next week.
Man, we would have some fun.
You would have some fun. Have at it, brother. Yeah. You know what? We'll talk to you next week in the chat room when we're drafting.
There you go.
That'll be the extent of it. Labor Day, of course, coming up next weekend on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. There's only one stat that matters: winning. Getting to the big game by scoring 1 point more than your opponents and being last in the league in sacks to get there is no different than 100 total sacks and total dominance. No, it's not. But the reason we talk about it now is because they haven't gotten to the big game, and generally the path to the big game isn't by being a team that can't rush the passer. So, sure, if they get to the big game, I don't care if they get to the big game and they run the ball 100% of the plays this year. Who cares, right? Go win the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter at that point which players starred, who came through. It's a team collective thing. We all understand that. But when you're putting together a team that you think can get there, Tony, that's one of the biggest components of it.
Yeah, I'm not such a prisoner of the moment when it comes to these kind of stats, David, to look at it last year and see that the number 1 and 2 teams in the NFL in sacks wound up playing in the Super Bowl. Yeah. I think that's pretty rare, right? That it works out that exact way. That you have that kind of thing. And I know some people will point to that kind of thing. And it's like, well, You have to be able to get after the passer when you need to achieve at that level.
You got to be effective.
Right. You have to be effective, and the Eagles and Chiefs were the two most effective teams doing it last year. It obviously helped both of those teams win a lot of football games, including in the playoffs for the Chiefs when their quarterback's dealing with a bum ankle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he is playing on that, and you still had a defense that was good enough to beat the Jags and then win in the AFC Championship game the next week and then beat the Eagles again in the Super Bowl a couple of weeks after that. So it does play a part. You're not going to have a team that is completely ineffective in affecting the other quarterback and go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in today's NFL, as much as it's a passing league, at some point you got to move that guy around if you're going to have any chance to win at the highest level.
Well, it helps, too, that both of those teams have really good offenses.
I was going to say, they have the top two MVP candidates at quarterback last year.
Well, having a really good offense means that you're going down and you're scoring points, and it's giving your defense an opportunity to just go sack the quarterback because they're down. The other team is usually down. And you're right. Those two teams had some really good D linemen that could go get after the quarterback. So I would like to see – the last 10 or 15 Super Bowl teams and look at the defenses from those throughout 15 years and see if everybody's top 8 or something like that. Now, if you start seeing that, then you're like, okay, so you got to be kind of up there, or it helps. But then it also helps when you have a really good offense, too.
How many of those teams are bottom quarter of the league?
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
After the passer, going to a Super Bowl.
And it's not necessarily so, maybe we're always thinking our ends have to get it, but maybe they're going to scheme it where, like they are bringing a Cisco, they are bringing a Lloyd, and it's causing havoc in there. And it's not just an individual guy, it's the way that they're scheming those guys to get after the quarterback. I hope there's something and not just a rinse and repeat of what we tried to do last year. Yes, at times we could get to the quarterback, but not often enough, And I think when you see that and that is your disadvantage, you got to have ways that you're scheming these guys to be able to get after the quarterback.
All right, so we talked about K'Lavon Chaisson not playing. Others point out there are a few other guys that didn't as well, like Chad Muma, Andrew Wingard. Look, this is just my speculation, right? So we sit here, maybe they look at K'Lavon and say, well, he's clearly our number 3, right? And whether we like it or not, what they see every day in practice, his contributions on special teams, they know maybe, right? I'm saying this is speculative, that he is locked in on the roster. That could be one reason you keep him out, because that gives other reps to other guys competing for a spot behind him. Okay, that's understood. I feel like in the case of Muma, I don't know anybody that would project he's not on this football team, and I think that's one of those cases where if you want to get a longer look at Ventrell Miller versus Shaq Quarterman, not having Chad Muma taking reps gives a few more reps to those guys. And maybe the same thing with Andrew Wingard, right? Like, what Dewey is capable of, both defensively and special teams-wise. And so you might hold guys out for different reasons. And, again, we're just speculating because, like, if you ask me who I have the most confidence in out of all those players, I'd probably say Wingard, Muma, and Chaisson would be a distant third on that, So that's why it was interesting with him, because you felt like he could have used a good performance, to get people excited about.
I'm just thinking it's the preseason. You get to dress everybody, and you get to play them 2 snaps if you want. So why wouldn't you put those guys out there? Why wouldn't you give them a chance to go compete unless they're dealing with something, unless you're trying to save somebody for some reason, whether you're trading them or they're injured a little bit and it's not really on the injury report. I don't know if you can even do that, but just why even do that? You want to give everybody an opportunity to go out there and compete and get a chance to solidify, to maybe get that sack so that they feel really good going into the season. Not sure why you wouldn't have Dewey out there playing unless, like I said, something's ailing. If you want to get guys more reps, he can still come out and be dressed and play a few snaps, and then just sit on the sideline, take his shoulder pads off, and hang out.
It could be that. It could be any number of.
But we don't
combination.
Know. That's why
right?
We're
exactly.
Here.
And we're not sitting here trying to tell you we do know, and and there are different reasons. But I think with K'Lavon, it's particularly interesting because of his road to get here, as a first-round pick and all that goes with it. Cooper Hodges, on the other hand, a seventh-round selection this year, and he's obviously dealing with the patella injury. And you talk about, maybe Ventrell Miller's a candidate to go on IR, which kind of gives him a redshirt season. Might be the same thing here with Cooper Hodges. I think it's going to be really interesting, Tone. To me, even more so, like the sixth receiver thing has some intrigue and all that, and who the last corner is. But what they do, the combination of players they keep on the offensive line, the number of players they keep on the offensive line, and are they releasing a guy that they think they can sign immediately back in, say, in a Josh Wells, or do they have to keep a player or two that they think can come back? They don't want to put on season-ending IR, and then you put them on short-term IR. And I just think all the machinations with the offensive line, including whether Cooper Hodges could be a candidate for injured reserve, are going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, Dave, when you look at it specifically with Cooper Hodges, who played well through training camp, looked good in the preseason when he got his reps out there with the offensive line. We already know the depth on the line is being tested now.
Yeah.
Right? Cam Robinson's going to be out. Walker Little, it doesn't sound like anything serious, but they held him out. On Saturday night, you have your swing tackle in Josh Wells, who we don't know when they're going to get him back on the field, like exactly what that's going to look like at this point. So you're probably going into week one with what? Blake Hance as potentially your swing tackle?
Yeah.
In week one. So are you looking at it where if you are healthy, right, completely healthy at this point in time, even with Cam being out for that month, maybe you look at Cooper Hodges and say the same thing we discussed with Ventrell Miller. All right, we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
Right? Like that may be the way you look at it if you were completely healthy. They're not.
No.
So it does feel like they may be in a position where they do have to figure something else out. We got to get him to the 53 so that we can get him on the short-term IR. And if we need him in 5 weeks, which we might need him in 5 weeks, we might not necessarily need it week one, but we might need it when we're going into October and November to have that extra body on the offensive line. It feels like they're going to have to figure out some way to finagle the numbers on that 53 to be able to keep him and get him to IR, and probably have to do the same thing with Josh Wells when everything is said and done.
Yeah, football's a crazy thing when it comes to just being healthy and injuries and all that kind of stuff, because just a few weeks ago we were like, man, we got so much depth everywhere. Oh, gosh, offensive line, there's plenty of depth. And now you're like, oh, gosh, we got to scrape by with a few guys, especially since Cam is not going to be there the first 4 games. What are we going to do? This guy's got, a knee thing. This guy has got a growing now. So you're like, oh, shoot, we have gotten really thin really fast. So you're hoping that at least with Walker, he's going to be healthy and ready to go week one. The offensive line showed you almost whoever you put out here, like we can play, man. We've got a good group. I know Cam was out there, and he's not going to be in there the first few games, but it just seems like whoever has been out there this preseason, they've looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was good to see Barch
the whole
back
time.
out there,
Yeah,
too. He
absolutely.
played well.
Yeah, so that gives you, and he coming back gives you a little bit more depth there. So they'll figure it out. And I think they'll still play well because Trevor's going to help them play well, and the doggone backfield is going to help them play well.
Yeah, that's a big thing, too. Trevor does get rid of the ball fast,
He does,
and
he moves well, all those
it all
good
works
things.
together.
Yep.
Let's go to the phones here at 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines. Harold on the north side next up. Good morning, Harold.
Hey, good morning, guys. How y'all?
Excellent.
Hey, quick question. We know like Juwan Taylor and Arden Key won't be on the roster this year. What other guys that are not going to make the team that were on the roster last year, kind of like maybe Stu Connor, and any other thoughts on that? Or
Sure.
guys are not going to be on the team that were on there last year?
All right.
Thank you.
You got Snoop Connor, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Has a way to be on this team this year. Looking at guys who are currently on the 90-man roster, I mean, we've talked about some of them, right? The potential for Caleb Von Chason and Shaq Quarterman maybe to be cuts here. I mean, I think Andrew Wingard is on the team, and he was in many ways the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah,
the last couple of years.
I don't see why he wouldn't. He hasn't done anything. I don't know if you guys have seen anything from him that.
No, they have a lot of interesting names though there. And
Yeah.
Daniel Thomas is a really good special teamer, but Antonio Johnson is banged up a little bit right now, and he's definitely getting a spot on this team. And it can be a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's how many do you want to keep? I think maybe some of the young corners.
Yeah, Monteric Brown seems like he's probably out.
Probably, right? And he was a guy, but I mean, in terms of the guys who are projected as starters, they're all I guess, Trey Herndon is an interesting guy to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit on Saturday night with Gregory Jr. coming for that spot, getting to play with the ones a little bit. If they feel comfortable enough for Jr. to play with the ones and they got a young guy or two that is a little less expensive and they don't want to expose to the waiver wire, I mean, that's possible as well. I'm not necessarily anticipating that one.
Yeah,
though.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the direction ultimately it's going to go, Dave. Trey did have the good play on the 3rd and goal.
Yep.
Got the pass break up down there. I didn't notice him a whole lot outside of that. Didn't seem like the ball was thrown his way.
Yeah.
Very much. Gregory Jr., I didn't, I saw him make a couple tackles, but I didn't notice anything really beyond that on Saturday night for him. I'm not saying that they couldn't go that direction because they can. They do have a cheaper option in Gregory Jr. if they want to go that direction. But I think there is something to a guy having been around the league for a while and there being that trust level with the coaches, with a veteran player like Trey Herndon, who I don't think is a bad player.
Yeah.
As we've said for the last few off seasons now, they can upgrade that position, right? And I'm not saying that they haven't upgraded that position potentially with Antonio Johnson being able to fill in some kind of role, right, as that third safety when they want to go to the big safety looks, and as potentially playing some of those slot routes. That I think he gives them another option when he's back on the field and healthy to do those kind of things, and he's obviously intriguing. He's big, he's long, he's physical, he's fast. Like, he has all the tools that you'd be looking for in that direction. Right now he's also hurt, right, on top of those things.
That doesn't help.
Right, we'll see what it looks like when they get him back in there, but I think it's likely that Trey Herndon's going to be on the 53 tomorrow.
Yeah, I would have to say I would want to see him on the 53. You got a guy that's young, that's great. But you don't want to lose a guy that's still playing as well as he can play because there's a little bit of a money. You can save a little bit here. There's something to having good chemistry with your team. And if your defense is probably the weaker side of things, let's keep it together as much as possible, unless we feel like this young guy has a bigger upside, more potential, can learn as he goes, and is proven that he can at least play at the same level as Trey, if not get even better as the season goes on.
Harold, thank you for the call on that one there. At least it's better than in recent years, even if it hasn't panned out to be this bad. But the feeling sometimes going into this stage is like, man, I hope we can find like 5 or 6 NFL caliber players out there on the waiver wire, right? Like, now you're like, okay, you're at the margins. Like, okay, if this guy's our 4th linebacker on the inside, fine. If this guy is, fine. But what's the decision they're going to make? And they have to go through this.
They're going to have to cut NFL caliber players.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, part of that is, who do you think will pass through waivers more likely, and who can you sign back? 16 spots on the practice squad. They won't all be guys that are off this 90-man roster. The Jags will go out there and cast their net around the league like everybody else as well. All right, we'll come back. Tony Smith will take you around the National Football League, and we'll continue to take your calls and texts and comments. 641-1010, the easiest way to get in front of us on the phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures with David Garrard, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Underdog Fantasy. Underdog, I've been telling you about them for quite a while now because they're so fun, so convenient, so great to play. If you like fantasy football and you're not playing at Underdog, you're really missing out because the best ball format is a blast. You get to do what many people consider the best part of fantasy football, drafting. And once you draft, you are done. You're with that roster for the rest of the season. No waivers, no trades, no lineup decisions even. You automatically get your best possible lineup every week. They've got a massive contest out there. It's the Best Ball Mania tournament, the largest fantasy football contest of all time. $15 million of total prizes up for grabs. An absurd $3 million overall going to the winner alone. So check it out. How do you get involved? If you're new, visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store and sign up with promo code 1010XL, and you'll get your first deposit doubled up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code 1010XL. You do have to be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Jaguars Today Monday on 1010XL
Is brought to you by
Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios. 1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
You'll do anything you can to ruin my day, won't you?
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
I got up today feeling so good. You couldn't leave us alone.
Mornings on 1010XL.
We were doing so well.
Okay, Gator Nation, y'all ready to do that Gator Chomp? It's your boy E to the T. And Brackish Vodka and I have something special brewing for you at Miller's Ale House for the Gator Game Watch Party versus Utah. Join me Thursday, August 31st at Miller's Ale House in Tinseltown for the ultimate Florida Gator Game Watch Party. We taking it to the next level, baby. Ale House is now pouring Brackish Vodka, proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguar. So gather up all your homies, deck yourself in that orange and blue, and come cheer with me, E.T. Thursday for the Gator Game Watch Party at Miller's Ale House, Tinseltown. Come on, somebody.
The blockbuster event of the summer is here.
Outrunning a helicopter isn't exactly what I had in mind for my beach getaway.
But this isn't another full-throttle action movie. It's the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event.
Wait, what?
Featuring the action-packed 2023 Nissan Rogue and Nissan Sentra, with sport modes that give the performance of a lifetime.
Stealing my spotlight.
And now comes the real star of the show.
Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select road trims. Availability is limited, so shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Better hurry. These offers won't get a sequel.
For well-qualified buyers, 0% APR financing for 36 months on new 2023 Rogue, excluding S-Trim and dealer stock. Example, 36 months financing at $27.78 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to residency restrictions and NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 9/5/23.
Mia here, and I want to talk to you about something that will transform your life. With Motto Clear aligners, only available at Aspen Dental, you can now achieve a beautiful smile with doctor-directed care. And for an affordable price, Motto is the smarter way to straighten your teeth. Start today and get $100 off with their Summer of Smiles event. What are you waiting for? Visit aspendental.com/Motto aligners to find a location near you and take the first step toward creating your new smile.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you. Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-onefcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Yo, it's your boy E.T. and I'm back at it again with my instant reactions brought to you by none other than Brackish Vodka. Be sure to check them out on all social platforms. You never know what I'm going to do or say. That's E.T.'s Instant Reactions, powered by Brackish Vodka. Come on, somebody.
What king in the deck of cards does not have a mustache? The answer next.
Filing any homeowner's claim is really easy with Southern Oak Insurance. Simply file your claim directly with us. We'll handle the vendors. It will save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Silly as it sounds, the King of Hearts is the only king without facial hair. Supposedly a design error.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Hicken here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Have high cholesterol? At risk of heart disease? You are not alone. Westside Center for Clinical Research is hosting a Sip and Science event. Join Dr. Michael Koren and Dr. Jackson Downey at this free RSVP-only event. Learn how you can reduce your risk of heart disease. Join us Wednesday, September 13th at 6 p.m. Free mocktails and hors d'oeuvres provided. That's why it's called Sippin' Science. RSVP at EncoreDocs.com. That's ENCOREDOCS.com. Don't wait. Take charge of your heart health today. EncoreDocs.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL. David Garrard on Jaguars Today is brought to you by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, continue to keep your eye on Tropical Storm Idalia. Sounds like I'm daring you. I dare you.
I
dare you to keep your eye on that tropical storm. Somebody on the text line said...
Double dog dare you.
That's another good one. Maybe even a better one. Somebody on the text line said, don't let your listeners take this storm for granted. Other ones, yes, but not this one. No, let's not take any of them for granted. And we have no idea whether this will continue to intensify, to awful hurricane or whether it will fizzle out like many others. Just don't know. So I'm not telling you to take anything for granted. Never do. Just we'll see. But I guess they did an update, and right now it looks like it's just still the main path. Looks like it'll cut through Jacksonville, but at what intensity is the question sometime on Wednesday. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
Looks like it's going to get across the state pretty quick. When
it does, right? Yeah. Like it's only really cutting across the northern part. Sometimes they come in like in the low southwest part and kind of make their way across the state, and then they really do oftentimes fizzle out.
They're all dangerous in their own ways, man. But
they can be.
The ones that get there and just sit there are the worst, right? When it's just rain,
much flooding.
Rain, yeah.
Right. You get the storm surge and the flooding and all that stuff. I tell you, I was going for a walk around the neighborhood the other day. This is just on a nice day, right? And it just goes to show you never quite know. Like, we've had a few of the tropical storms come through recent years, and we've had some trees knocked down in our neighborhood or whatever, and I had a neighbor had a tree right through the garage and all that stuff. But I'm walking, doing my laps around the neighborhood, and I'm on the right side of the street from my perspective, and I hear this crack, and it's right across the street on the left.
Oh, wow.
And huge limb on this tree just snaps right down the middle, and if I'd been under it, could have killed you.
Wow.
That kind of thing. So you just got to be careful with that kind of stuff. When you get a storm, even if it's not something that is knocking houses down and everything like that, there are definitely ways it can damage.
Absolutely.
So be careful out there, folks. We're always encouraging you to be smart about that. We're all making our plans for the middle of the week coming up. All right, we got a plan right now, and it's going to take us around the National Football League.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The Miami Dolphins and defensive lineman Zach Seiler have agreed to terms on a 3-year, $38.65 million contract extension with $20 million guaranteed. The news came out yesterday after the Dolphins and defensive tackle Christian Wilkins were unable to work out a long-term extension. Wilkins had been holding in with the team as he was in the building with the Dolphins, but not participating in practice as they tried to get an extension done. But now he will have to play this season on the 5th-year option, which will pay him $10.8 million this season. Poor fella. Tampa Bay has placed center Ryan Jensen on injured reserve, which means he won't be able to play this season at all after his knee did not respond the way it needed to during his rehab this offseason and through training camp. Ian Rappaport reported yesterday that Jensen may not be able to return at all at this point, as he will be 33 next year and would have gone 2 years then without being able to play if he is able to return for the 2024 season. The New England Patriots are trading running back Pierre Strong to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for offensive tackle Tyrone Wheatley Jr. Cleveland wide receiver Jakeem Grant suffered a ruptured patellar tendon, will miss the entire 2023 season. And we don't need to get into the weeds on all the releases going on around the league, but one of note for Jaguars fans, the New York Giants have released running back James Robinson.
Yes. Did he have a big run this week? I didn't watch the clip, but I saw an OMG James Robinson carrying Jets down the field. Was that the matchup this week? They usually play in the preseason.
They did play the Jets.
So it must have been then. He had a big, James Robinson type run.
Mm-hmm.
Hope he hooks on with another team, man.
Always like that guy, yeah.
What a story
Yeah.
he was for this football
Isn't it amazing,
team.
though, how fast you can just fall from as a running back?
What was he, like a 1,600 total yard guy as a rookie? Opened the season as a starter, had some breakaway plays like that he had never shown prior to the Achilles tear, and then they just didn't think he looked quite right, traded him for a bag of pennies. The Jets got him and looked at him and said, nah, we don't need him. We're not going to use him, because it would have upgraded the pick that they had to send to the Jaguars. So you hope for him that he can find another opportunity. But, man, running back is tough. We know how there's a lot of depth. It's why these guys are not getting the big deals.
These young guys come in now, and they can just play almost right away. I mean, look how
right
Tank
away.
looks. Yeah.
I mean, if look, ETN looked fantastic the other night. But if you lost ETN, would you really sweat it for a couple weeks? You know what I mean? As long as everybody else is healthy around him.
No, with the guys that are also backing them up too.
I feel right. That's one of the positions you could most afford an injury. Not that you want an injury at any position.
Don't need no more.
The Cleveland deal is interesting. Pierre Strong going there. Jerome Ford they really like, but he's been banged up throughout the preseason. And, you wonder if they wish they'd brought Dearness Johnson back, honestly, because he was – such a good insurance policy for them. And, of course, the Patriots picking up Ezekiel Elliott recently, and he may have a pretty sizable role with that football team.
He just looks so big.
He does.
Not big in a good way.
No, I hear you. But
I'm sure he's conditioning to get himself back into
I would think. But, I've been talking to – we'll put it this way. I've talked to a couple of Patriot reporters who think he may catch a ton of passes this year. He may be the third down back.
Okay.
And may get goal line work for them as well, because he's always had
Maybe
a
he
great
wants to
nose for
stay
the end zone.
bulked up now since, he's going to be more of a downhill.
And it's cold
score.
up there.
It is cold, man. You got to keep them LBs on, man, for that
winter. You got to have another layer.
You got to start preparing now for the winter up there.
Layer of protection. All right, this one.
Killer has spoken.
True story. Really forgot to kind of lean into that nickname, but it'll resurface at the worst possible time, BK. All right.
I'm not going anywhere.
This one for you there, Mr. Killer. On the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. One of my favorite plays was the missed throw on 3rd and 6, and Trevor motioned to Brandon McManus to stay off the field, then delivered a dart on 4th down. Shows how confident he is with this offense. When you are a quarterback that has a certain stature, and I think it's more so now than ever because it's more accepted to go for 4th down in the middle of the field than it's ever been, clearly. But how much does your coach get influenced by the quarterback? Because the quarterback always wants to stay out there, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
How much would Doug Peterson get influenced by Trevor Lawrence, or do you think this is just kind of an unspoken thing, particularly in the preseason? We're going to see a lot of, what's the big deal if you give it up?
Well, I think like Doug Peterson, just like Del Rio was an aggressive coach.
Mm-hmm.
You get across the 50 and it's, 3-4 yards. He's like, let's do it.
4-down territory.
Yeah, we got a big quarterback that can throw it. He can pass it. So let's, he gives us a great chance to get this play right here. And this is a time in the game we feel like we need it. Also, it's a great opportunity for Doug to do it. It's preseason. It's 4th and how does it look? How does our quarterback handle it? Because I'm going to be thinking about that all season long. And when he gets those opportunities, he's going to think, oh, shoot, you remember back in the preseason? He just threw a dart out there. That's what you want to see. That's what the preseason is for and why you need those games. So it just gives Doug more confidence. He knows his quarterback is starting to play at a high level where, okay, we're across the 50. It's 4th down. It's not even a question. Or maybe he thinks about it and he's like, you know what? Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, and Christian Kirk did a great job on that play, too. Because
great job on that
as soon as he gets it, he's upfield, right? He's not running parallel to the line there. And that was a little bit of a tight window throw, you know? It was nicely executed all the way around. And but it seemed pretty routine,
Yeah.
which is kind of what you're talking about,
Exactly.
right? So how much confidence does the coaching staff have that we're going to be able to complete that? All right, we'll take our final timeout here. When we come back, we'll read through some of your reaction. The Chad and Sandy real estate question today, asking exactly for that, your reaction to the Jags 31-18 victory over the Dolphins. We'll give you some final thoughts of our own as well as we wrap things up on a Reaction Monday with our quarterback, David Garrard, with Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union, from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios. He knows where the bodies are buried.
We've been approached already by the DOD, the FBI, the CIA.
We're a separate division. Bleacher Report college football insider Matt Hayes. I don't want to talk about it. Noon to 3 weekdays on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
To go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring today.
Do you have a plumbing problem that's making you feel like a sitting duck? Call Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic. Our team of expert plumbers will have your pipes flowing smoothly in no time. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home this week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tomorrow is Community First 2 for Tuesday, and bring your cat for Purr in the Park. Then ViStar Good is Everywhere Wednesday and Military Appreciation. The weekend starts with Coors Light Thirsty Thursday, followed by Friday Fireworks, Mug Giveaway Saturday, and Family Sunday Fireworks. Jumbo Shrimp home all week and weekend. Tickets start at just $5. Visit jackshrimp.com.
It's your avenue to Athens.
Follow Mandarin's Carson Beck and the Bulldogs all season long on the Bulldog Report.
Brought to you by Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group on 1010XL. How about the Dogs?
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser. Hydrate between beers and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Sky Rizzy, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Sky Rizzy is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Sky Rizzy, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Sky Rizzy, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizzy.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZY to learn more.
If your lawn is not as green as you'd like, it's time to go orange by calling Orange Environmental Services, Jacksonville's highest quality pest control for over 45 years. Frank Franchi here. I've trusted Orange Environmental to take care of our home's pest control needs for years. With the Orange Shield Protection Plan for your home or office, you can relax knowing Orange Environmental will handle pest control, termite control, and mosquito control. Orange Environmental has been giving Northeast Florida peace of mind from bug problems since 1972. Call them today at 272-3284.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars offensive lineman Walker Little did not play in Saturday's preseason finale against the Dolphins. Head coach Doug Peterson gave an update on Little in the postgame.
Kind of tweaked his right groin in practice the other day, and we warmed him up the last couple of days, actually worked him out before the game, and just felt like in the best interest of him and our team, and him being the starting left tackle, I didn't want to risk it, and set him back or set our offense back, so just precautionary kept him out.
Doug Peterson on the status of Walker Little, courtesy of Jaguars.com. The Jaguars must cut down to their 53-man roster by tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. He's our QB. It's a David Garrard Monday on 1010XL. Brought to you by Napa Auto Care. You can trust Jacksonville Napa Parts and Jacksonville Napa Auto Care repair shops.
And you can trust our quarterback, David Garrard, to give you his unvarnished opinion every Monday here on the program, except for next Monday.
Except for next
Because we're not going to be here next Monday. Yeah. It's going to be Labor Day. We don't have a game to react to, but we'll be back in 2 weeks with the first Reaction Monday of the season. Hopefully Victory Monday is what we'll be calling it then.
I saw this from Stephen Holder, who covers the Colts for ESPN, right? He's tweeted this out in about the last hour, DG9. He has a Jonathan Taylor update. Talks continue, and as expected, this will go down to the wire. The team gave him a deadline of tomorrow
to get a deal done.
To get a deal done in a trade. He did add one more tidbit. I believe there is a second team involved beyond the Miami Dolphins, which would certainly change the dynamics. We know the Dolphins made an offer, wasn't enough from the Colts side of things, so they said no, but apparently the negotiations, as we knew through the weekend, were continuing. Now potentially a second team at least getting involved.
Philadelphia has been mentioned as one that has been in the mix of this. Denver is another one, which despite the fact that Javonte Williams, just one of the great stories of the preseason, the fact that he's already out there playing.
No doubt.
Had a devastating knee injury. I mean, it was a very complicated multiple ligament type situation for Javonte Williams, but he's back, and they did sign Samaje Perine in the offseason, but anyway, they've been rumored to be interested there. I'm a little worried about Russell Wilson, to be honest with you. I don't know
am
if
too, man.
Sean Payton can sprinkle the magic dust on him and get him going. Jonathan Taylor would help that team a lot.
It'd been nice if he sprinkled it on him during the preseason, so he looked
it hasn't really gotten that sprinkle.
No.
To this point.
He's saving it. He's saving the sprinkle.
Now, Jerry Jeudy's hurt.
I know.
They've already lost Tim Patrick for the season, and that Tim Patrick, people are like, who's that? They love Tim Patrick.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick, some people think is the best receiver on that football team. When healthy, that's his problem, when healthy. But we shall see.
Can't make the club in the tub.
No, sir. All right, why don't we do this as we reflect back on the Jags' final preseason game? We'll do something that is encouraging, is something that we're a little concerned about in today's 10-10 take.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by J&M Roofing Jacksonville, your storm restoration specialists.
Overall, I mean, this is pretty general, but this feels like a good team, right?
Yeah.
It feels like a deeper team. It feels like the cuts are going to be more difficult, but also less consequential because we're hopefully not counting on these guys 51, 52, 53 to do anything but be out there on special teams, and that's an important aspect of it. But the frontline players in this team, they look like they've upgraded the talent. You know, that doesn't mean we have complete blind spots here. We know that, you know, particularly the defensive side, there are going to be some questions. The offensive line's a question, and that's where my concern is with Walker Little. Tone, that's the guy in the next couple of days I want to hear something positive about, or at least over the course of this week. So we're not going into next week like potentially with him missing a week of practice and it's up in the air. And, you know, so really going to have a close eye on these offensive line releases tomorrow and what they may do on the waiver wire in that regard as well.
Yeah, it's hard with the cuts coming up for the biggest concern for me not to be what is the depth on the offensive line going to look like when we get into, you know, the first couple weeks of the regular season. So that's the direction I would go with that. I mentioned this to you before the show this morning, Dave. Travis Etienne, going back and watching him on Saturday night, it's really his second year after being out for his entire rookie year with the injury in the preseason. The patience he is running with and the burst he has. I know Tank Bigsby is going to have a big role in this offense, and I'm glad he's here. And I think he's going to help, especially in some of the goal line situations, short yardage. I think he can help him in those spots. If Tank Bigsby wasn't here, I think Travis Etienne could be in line for one of these 1,800-yard seasons. Like, that's what he looks like to me with the patience he's running with right now. I think he could have a monster year. The only thing that's going to slow that down is Tank's going to have a role, right? But Etienne looks so good as we get ready for the regular season.
Yeah, I'm going to just piggyback on that, too, and talk about the skill players a little bit more. But, yes, the way that Etienne was running with the ball, I think it's just going to be a great change-up from him to Tank because their styles are different, which is it's really a breath of fresh air for this offense because you're going to have a guy that can just squirt through holes and run 80 yards and leave everybody in the dust. And you got another guy that will run the guy over in the hole and then go 45, 50 and leave everybody in the dust. So it is a great combination. But then just to have all those weapons – for Trevor, a guy that can dish the ball around. Calvin Ridley, I'm super excited to watch him play. You know, I'll be sending out a lot of prayers this upcoming season to make sure we can keep all these skill guys healthy. Because I just want to see a quarterback here in this uniform light it up. I wasn't really around watching the Jags when I was not here, and Brunell was the quarterback. I was a Giants fan back then.
You were a young beer truck.
Young beer truck. You know, so I want to see somebody go out there and just ball and throw it to everybody, and everybody scores a bunch of touchdowns. But I am concerned, like we've been talking most of the offseason, with the pass rush. You know, we've got to see these guys take another step. Josh Allen, it's your time. If you never thought it was your time, now it's your time. Trayvon Walker, I want to see what you've worked on this offseason. I want to see how you've grown. I want to see what you can do with a year under your belt. And other guys, step up. Defensive coaches, scheme these guys in ways to get them easy sacks or just put a ton of pressure on the quarterback. I'm a guy that if you're not always sacking the quarterback, that's fine. But are we making it tough as hell for him every play? That's what I want to see.
I think it's very fair. Absolutely. You know, somebody made the point on the text line this morning, designed by lifetime enclosures. I don't care if Josh Allen has however many sacks. Yeah. I'm going to franchise tag him next year. I'm not going to give him that long-term deal until he proves it to me multiple times. And that's fine. And that may be the route that they choose to go. But keep in mind, signing Evan Ingram made it a little bit easier because he had three guys potentially. But depends on what happens with Calvin Ridley. I mean, Calvin Ridley, I'm sure, is happy for the opportunity to be here in Jacksonville. Doesn't mean he has to take a hometown discount now. You know, if he has a huge season, he may want to test the waters. So it may be a case of who's more important to keep for this team at the moment.
We can't let him go.
Exactly. At least what we anticipate him doing.
Josh Allen, to me, is going to have a season that we all agree on. Okay, yeah, he stepped up this year. He shined this year, whether it's 9, 10, 11 sacks. I think double-digit. The more it's at the double-digit mark, the better for him in getting his money, because we want somebody to be that guy.
Sure we do.
If not, we have to go find somebody and hope they're that guy and pay him too much money.
All right, all this in reaction to the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, asking what is your reaction to the Jags' 31-18 victory over the Miami Dolphins on Saturday. Duval Doom said, I feel much better now. So good. Look, it was a kind of performance. You came out feeling good about your team generally. Let's see. Cristiano, fumble? What fumble? Let's go. All right. Really glad the Jaguars won with few mistakes from Mary. I saw a really good team. The Bat Doctor said got through preseason healthy. Mostly. Ish. Doug's offensive drives with personnel and formation changes were great. Cadence of the offense was spectacular. Defense will be bend, don't break, which is concerning. But it is, right? But look, we'd like to have the number one defense, number one offense, number one special teams. Yeah. I think in today's day and age, you'd rather have the number one offense than the number one defense, generally.
Sure. Yeah.
Just an easier path. And kind of like Dave said, Tony, we got a chance to have – I love watching Dave play. I love watching Brunell play. I love watching Minshew and Blake play at times, and all these guys. But we got a chance to have that dude. That quarterback, that guy.
You got a guy playing quarterback that could go to 8 Pro Bowls in his career, right? Like
easily.
He's got that kind of game in him, and could be one of the guys on the NFL billboards all over the country for the next decade.
We see 3 or 4 faces,
right?
And you're like, oh,
like he's that kind of guy that's being added to this, and it speaks to the excitement that's in the city. I know we haven't talked about it this morning, but what a crowd!
Yeah.
For a preseason game, the excitement in this city, and it's what we've talked about. Every time anyone nationally talks about it, nobody goes to the Jags game. They have stunk for so long, right? To put that on the fan base, that they're not showing up to watch a bad product anywhere. You watch what happens in this city when they get any good. We're seeing it right now. It's going to be a tough ticket all year long to get into that stadium. The home schedule is unbelievable this season. On top of it, Sunday night, Monday night, the 49ers are in town, the Chiefs are in town, and we're filling the place up for week 3 of the preseason. It's going to be a party down in that place all year long.
All right, let's get it. Party coming up for the next 3 hours, or is it 2, I believe, actually. Is it 3 today? All right, XL Primetime coming your way right now.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
Josie's like, you got any poll? I'll do 2.
Oh, wait a minute,
we can do 2. We can do 2 today.
Only 2 on Thursdays.
Okay, all right. I'm never quite sure with the Jaguar programming, Joe. You may not know this. I live in a little me-centric bubble here. As I told the guy,
myopic Mike.
If I don't have a tea time, I don't know what the weather is until I get up that morning. And we're gonna have a tropical storm apparently. So there's that. So
I don't know where that thing is going, and I hope it doesn't come here.
Right. Well, I hope it fizzles out and nobody gets it. But if somebody has to get it, may it be somebody outside of Duval and the surrounding counties.
With you.
So what do you guys have coming up today, Joe?
It's week 0 last week. Now the Gators in Utah and all these big games, LSU, FSU. I mean, we're talking massive games. So we're just going to really have fun this week talking a bunch of college football. But we got to make roster cuts just like you guys. And just take a look at what the 53 looks like. I thought there were a couple of people that helped themselves. I was up, down on Shaq Quarterman. He made some plays, and obviously
Ventrell got hurt.
Yeah, the Ventrell injury sucks, but that's probably going to mean a spot for Shaq.
Let me ask you something. I asked Matt Hayes about this. Didn't really get a definitive answer, right? I thought they started doing week 0 when they started the week before the NFL, and that way their week 1 would match up with the NFL. So week 1 of football is week 1 of football going forward, right?
Yeah.
So if this is week 1 and the NFL is not kicking off till next week, so their week 1 will be college football's week 2. Why even have a week 0?
It's so confusing. Yeah. But basically, they want to start, college football wants to start Labor Day weekend. NFL wants to start after Labor Day. So you definitely have 2 different week 1s. And then last week, there were only maybe a dozen games where there's going to be 50-some this week. So they said, let's have fun. Let's market it like a week 0 because that way not everyone is starting that week.
All right, I'm not satisfied with that response.
Well, that's what I'm going with.
All right.
Because Labor Day weekend, honestly, Labor Day weekend is week 1 of college football.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Whatever the case. Week 1 coming up in 13 days.
There you go.
Jaguars Today listeners.
That's
we all
what-
know
that's what
what's
we're
up.
worried about.
We know what's up. All right, Joe, have a great show today. I'm sure you got a lot to get into.
I'm looking at Tony. I almost laid 17. Thank God I didn't with his Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it's always a risky proposition.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to get to 6.
Hey,
So
let me
that's
ask
it.
you, Joe Cowart, in the wagering, more of aficionado than we are.
Yeah.
If a game like the Jags of Miami, it's officially a suspended game.
Yeah.
Is that a no bet? Is that
It's a no bet. At least in most books, it's just no bet. You don't have to worry about your VIG or anything like that. It's just a no bet. It's pulled
right?
off
You
the
get your
board.
money back
Right.
that you'd laid in there
Right.
because I knew somebody who said, "Oh, my husband's going to be happy because the Jags have covered the score." I said, "Ain't going to be happy
No
because
bet.
this game's not finished."
At least that's my understanding.
That's
in
what
most
I
of the books.
thought too.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to ask what a VIG is. So.
you
That's
know,
10%.
but you're not going to ask. All right. Thank you very much, Joe
All right,
Cowart.
fellas.
Stick around for the next 3 hours for XL Primetime. DG, what you going to do with your, other than drafting a bunch of Jaguars Today fantasy teams, what are you going to do with your time off next week?
Same thing I do just about every week. It's always the kids, always sports, always. I mean, this past weekend was long. We had our son's game Friday night. We didn't finish till about 11. My daughter had to be up for a softball tournament by 7 that morning, and I was like, "Baby, I'm sorry. You're going to be a little tired today," but she still did great.
Hey, that's what you do when you're young, man. You
Yes,
can play
you
all
you bounce
day,
back real fast.
Play all day, take a 30-minute nap, and be ready for more. So.
But then we had to come to the Jaguars game, so
course.
there was no rest for the weary.
Hey, what a labor, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You had to watch that Jaguar team at home for the first time
It was
this
awesome.
year.
Awesome.
Can't wait, man. 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
That will be awesome. Let's hope
Yeah.
it's our first official Victory Monday of many to come.
Absolutely.
This year. For David Garrard, for Tony Smith, who will be with me all week long, for Pockets, who will be here as well. I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for tuning in to Jaguars Today. Stick around for XL Primetime. Tomorrow, we'll check the tape on a Tuesday with Jeff Loggeman right here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Yo, Jacksonville, let's go. 2 more.
Jaguars Today Monday.